The Just Stop Oil's Whole Truth 5 to appeal the years-long sentences after a Sun journalist exposed the M25 disruption plan. I'm going to read into this piece from Byline Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Byline Times with the headline that Just Stop Oil's Whole Truth 5 to appeal the years-long sentence after a Sun journalist exposed the M25 disruption plans. The 5 activists faced the longest ever jail terms for peaceful protests, and international NGOs have rallied behind them. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share us across social media so others are notified of this video. These are Just Stop Oil activists are facing longer jail terms than some of those who were part of the UK riots. Some of those UK rioters who smashed up cars, buildings, and set things on fire. Some of them are getting shorter sentences than these people. Now, I don't agree that what they did was right. I think it was too far. I understand that the whole point of a protest is to disrupt and make noise. I get that. But I thought the M25 one was a bit was too far. But I know there's always that debate and that argument. Just Stop Oil have been smeared quite badly by some of their actions. Some of their ideas has actually hurt their cause rather than help their cause. This was one cause that I thought that cause, and among some of the others I think they've gone, is just not hitting the right notes, not making enough, not hitting the right people in the right way. Because if you want to win, you're not going to win over hearts and minds of some people who believe in your cause. But if you're going to disrupt their lives as vigorously as they have been doing, you're not going to get enough support. And not only have they failed to get support of the public, but they've also lost support of politicians. And that's where those, and they want to get around the table of politicians. They're not going to get around it with some of their actions. Some of the decisions that they've made have been nothing short of atrocious when it comes to this. I believe we do need to stop oil. I do believe we need to stop it. I do believe that climate change is a very serious thing, and we need to transition away from fossil fuels and oils to renewable energies. But I just think, some of the protests and actions that they've done has just not been helpful at all. And as for these sentences, it's absolutely bang out of order. It's absolutely bang out of order that they face such long jail terms for peaceful protests, because that's what they are. They are peaceful protests. Yes, they have caused significant disruption, which I don't agree with some of the actions that they have done. However, to face these jail terms is nothing short of pathetic and shows just how broken our justice system is. It's not right in any way, shape, or form that they should face the terms that they are facing, guys. It really should not. In comparison to some of the other crimes that take place in the UK, it's nothing short of abhorrent. So 5 climate activists dubbed the Whole Truth 5 have lodged an appeal against their record-breaking prison sentence for climate activism. Just Stop Oil protester Cressie Gethin, Roger Hallam, Lou Lancaster, Daniel Shaw, and Lucia Whittaker del Abreu were convicted in July for plotting action that caused major disruption to traffic, which protesters climbing onto gantries over the motorway for 4 successive days in November 2022, as PA had reported. Hallam, who is the co-founder of environment campaign groups Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion, was given 5 years in prison, while the other 4 were each jailed for 4 years. Southwark Crown Court found the activists guilty on July 11th of conspiring to intentionally cause a public nuisance. The prosecution successfully argued that the direct cost of the M25 disruption was at least £765,000, with additional costs over £1.1 million for the Metropolitan Police. They also argued that it caused more than 50,000 hours of traffic delay, affecting over 700,000 vehicles and 120 hours of total disruption on the motorway. The trial stemmed from a Zoom call recorded by Scarlett Howes, a reporter for The Sun, who joined the call pretending to be somebody interested in participating in the protest. The judge remarked she was able to record the main part of the meeting. She left at a point where participants went into breakout rooms where what she had recorded was passed to the police. It was a clear trial that none of you think very much of the Sun newspaper or of its proprietors. I make no comment about that, but I do say that Mrs. Howes and her newspaper did entirely the right thing by passing on the evidence she had gathered to the police. Had that not been done, I consider it likely the disruption would have been even greater than it was. The Zoom call and resulting action put them in breach of the recent anti-protest law passed under the Conservatives, the Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Act of 2022, as well as the long-standing Criminal Law Act of 1977. But the 5 long prison sentences were met with widespread national and international anger, which is seen by many as disproportionate. And this is it is unfair, those sentences. It is completely unfair, those sentences. Among other grounds for appeal, the lawyers for the Whole Truth 5 argue that the sentences were magnificently excessive. The judge failed to take into account of the legal obligations of the UK under the International Archers Convention not to pursue environmental defenders, and that lawyers are the judge appears to have punished the defendants for disobeying this order, not to explain their motivations for taking action. This was repeatedly denied by the judge. The activists were sentenced following trials in which they claimed they were gagged from presenting evidence about the urgency of climate crisis and the efficiency of direct action. I'm going to have to say on this part here, because I have to be honest, guys, this bit here, it's not about... The case is not about them making an appeal to the judge of why they are doing what they're doing. What they did was going too far in the eyes of the law. Yes, of course, there is an urgency and there is a crisis about the climate, but that evidence, unfortunately, is irrelevant to what they did, even if it is the fundamental reason of why they did what they did. So in that case, I have to agree with the judge on this part of presenting the evidence about the urgency of climate crisis and the effectiveness of direct action. I get that point, but this is about what they have done, the disruption and damage that they have caused to people's lives. That's what this is about. It's not about the cause of what they are doing. It's about the cause for what they are doing this for. It's about the damage that they have done here. And yes, I believe in protests, but this kind of protest was, for me, was too far. So I agree that the evidence became irrelevant there. In the argue, Professor Maguire, an emeritus professor of geophysical and climate hazards at the University College London, was barred from providing expert testimony. And the sentence ranging from 4 to 5 years drew sharp comparisons to those given for violent offenders in recent race riots. Those convicted for their part in the past months of violent race riots have generally received sentences between 2 months to 3 years, significantly less than the climate activists. Yeah, this is the problem here. This is the biggest issue I have with this. Following the sentencing, UN Rapid reporter Michael Frost issued a public statement questioning the legitimacy of the sentences. And over 2,000 academics and cultural figures, including the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Rowan Williams, and artist Tracy Emmons, penned an open letter decrying the sentences as insanitary. Meanwhile, the Hadean Society of Socialist Lawyers, of which Keir Starmer was previously secretary, passed a motion condemning the sentence as completely disproportionate. So David King, the government's former chief scientific officer, dubbed the sentence as disgraceful and expressed hope that the new Labour government would adopt a different approach to criminalising climate protesters. Global Citizens Movement Alpha has also launched a petition to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, which has gathered more than 20,000 signatures, calling for the end to gagging and jailing of peaceful climate protesters and demanding the repeal of repressive anti-protest legislation. And legal commentator David Alan Green has pointed out the stark contrast between the disruption caused by climate activists and the recent race riots, noting that the latter have caused far greater public nuisance and fear. Since the Whole Truth 5 was sentenced on July the 18th, numerous other Just Stop Oil members have been remanded in prison for various actions, including protests at Heathrow and Manchester Airport. Campaign groups are reportedly planning a new wave of action, calling for the release of all political prisoners held in UK jails. A spokesperson for Defend Our Juries campaign slammed the justice system's approach, arguing that both race riots and imprisonments of climate activists stem from attempts to distract from the external crisis that we are faced by demonising easy targets. Just Stop Oil maintains that direct action is effective, citing the UK Parliament declaration of a climate emergency following Extinction and Rebellion's 2019 protests, and Keir Starmer's commitment to ending new oil and gas licences just after Just Stop Oil's M25 disruptions. I believe in their cause. I understand their cause. I'm for their cause, because I do want us to reduce our reliance on oil. I do. I really, really do. But I'm also a realist as well. And realistically, we have to apply some common sense here. Like you have to play the politics game if you want to change things for the better. And you're not helping, like for Labour's point of view, it's not a very good political image for them if they are agreeing with some of the protests that Just Stop Oil are doing, for example. I'm sure most people in Labour do approve the needs that more action needs to be done when it comes to reducing the oil. I do believe that most in Labour do believe that. The problem is that it's just the way that these protests just went too far. And the sentences are absolutely harsh. They are extremely harsh and they should be changed. They really, really should. I don't think the Labour government can do anything at the moment about it, but the sentences are extremely harsh, guys. They really, really are. They are peaceful protests, but there are also lines that I feel that the Extinction Rebellion, that Just Stop Oil have crossed. And I do think that those who make the decisions at the top, there really needs to be questions about how they are doing things, because while I understand their cause, I just think they are going too far at times. Well, what do you guys honestly think? What do you guys make of the Whole Truth 5? What do you make of the sentences that they've been given? Do you think they are harsh? Do you think they should be reduced? Do you think that their actions are justified? Do you believe that we should be reducing our oil capacity? Do you believe in their cause? Let me know what your thoughts are about them, about all this and more down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.